How are y'all tonight? Yeah? Do you have your books? Aren't they sexy?
No, you sent me one, and I open it, I go, oh my God, this is so cunt. I was alone in my kitchen, talking to no one but God.
I regret not having that quote on the back of it, to be completely honest.
I'm kind of pissed I don't have that promo in perpetuity.
In perpetuity. No, we're so happy you're here hanging out. Chris brought me, just a single serving of Food Clicquot. I was like, do you want us to get some glasses? He was like, absolutely not. So here we are. Chris, host it.
Yes, right. As my microphone is down and my Poland Spring is in my hand. Now, what... You've written 2 books before. Girl, don't laugh, okay? I'm already working at a disadvantage that I provided. What, you've done 2 books.
Yeah.
Why a cookbook now? What inspired that?
Well, I cook all the freaking time. If anyone follows me on social media, you know that I'm obsessed. Food, first thing I think of in the morning besides beans. Last thing I think of at night besides chip. I know, that's cute. Are you texting?
When do you think about me? No, girl, I'm trying to read the next question while the attention's on you. Damn.
He's like my Tamagotchi pet.
Babe, it's 2025. No one knows what a Tamagotchi is.
My people know what a Tamagotchi is. These are my childless millennials. So everyone, I'm always cooking online and people are always saying, what is the recipe? Can I get the recipe? But I just kind of improvise in the kitchen, a little of this, a little of that, a little martini, a little more paprika. And so I decided I was actually going to sit down and write a cookbook proposal. And it's really hard to do because when you cook, I don't know how many people in here just kind of make stuff up in the kitchen, but then when you have to decide what you're going to write down and the exact measurement and how people are going to follow that exactly. It's pretty intimidating, but I wanted the challenge. Listen, we're going to have plenty of books where I'm constipated in other countries. Don't worry. We got more of those memoirs to come, but I was just really excited to do this one.
Love that.
Yeah.
What was the difference between writing those 2 other books?
Yeah.
What was the biggest challenge you found with this one? Because I'm sure it was different.
It was very different. Well, when you're writing, like the other 2, when you're writing more of a storytelling book, you just give some pictures that you might have. Some literally blurry disposable camera photos from spring break,
Very on trend now.
I know.
You were ahead of your time.
Well, I'm old. I'm ahead of the time. But
I was going to say, well, yeah, and then I realized bitch, you're in the 30s too, so shut up.
Oh, well, I'm 41 now. 40 fun.
Oh my God, I thought you were in your 30s.
You did?
I really, under 35.
This is why I keep them around. Hence the lighting. String light cafe only. No, but so with the other books, the only picture you even have to worry about or photographer you worry about is the cover. But with this, with a cookbook, they want a photo for pretty much every single recipe. And that's over 99 recipes. So it becomes, this whole other beast, this whole other creative endeavor and directing. And I wanted it to look cool. You know what I mean? Because a lot of cookbooks, it's just kind of and there's a white table and some natural sunlight. Bam. No shade, no tea. But I wanted it to feel like different environments since it is dinner parties. I wanted them to feel like different themes. So it kind of felt like I was producing 10 short films in addition to writing the book.
Well,
so that was different.
No, you segued this perfectly because my next question was, you organized this as 10 different dinner parties as opposed to starters, appetizers,
those are the same thing, but yeah.
Listen, not to Gwyneth Paltrow, okay? Those are 2 separate chapters. But why did you organize it like that?
Because that's how people eat it. I just feel okay, twofold. 2 things. Sorry. My God.
I'm glad that you're also suffering from
No. I'm just me on the podcast. I want to like curate an evening, right? So my favorite thing to do is to have friends over and to do a dinner party and to have a starter cocktail and to create an entire vibe. And why I like having people over partly is because of being vegetarian. You're vegan, right? Ish.
No, why does everyone think this?
Really?
No, I
Did you have-
I try to be.
Well, you were really loud about it during the phase, I think.
Well, yes, I was very loud about it because I lived in LA and it was so easy to do.
Yes. Okay. And now
that I moved to New York,
yeah, I hear you.
eating the steak.
I love it. But so since I'm vegetarian, who is anyone here vegetarian? We're such a loud group.
Who here is a carnivore? We're gonna get you.
So if you're a vegetarian, you know that sometimes going out to eat with friends can be difficult because either there's really nothing for you to eat, and then I know for me, I go, well, then I'm just going to drink a bunch because I know we're splitting this bill.
You ate without one.
For once. Or you feel bad because you know they feel bad that there's nothing for you to eat, that you are eating some mashed potatoes and like a spring mix salad. So one of the reasons why I like to have people over is because I can be in control of that. And so I can make things that I know everyone will enjoy, whether they eat meat or not. And then also, there's no bill to drop. You're making martinis and you're not worried about, oh God, this is just skyrocketing. Oh God, like now I'm gonna have to pick up my car in the morning. It's a safe, fun place where you can curate the vibe.
And I love that because, like, I feel like that's what makes a dinner party. Like, that's what makes an evening with friends. It's not like no one gives a shit what you're eating. It's like what the person curates for you.
Right, and it's making the evening a lot of. Another thing I liked with this book is there's so many pairings for wine and food. You know, everyone knows the general rules of like, you know, if you're doing seafood, do a white wine. If you're doing, you know, a steak, do a red wine. But people don't really pair cocktails. And like, obviously, you're not going to do a flight of cocktails. You know, it's a little dangerous. But I do think there are certain pairings and certain things that work and don't. You're not going to have a pina colada, you know, with some scallops. I don't know, maybe. Well,
I'm like, let's not rule it out, babe.
Listen, if it's all inclusive, go crazy.
That was literally my point of reference.
Exactly. If it's a buffet in Cabo, of course. Maybe not at home though. But so I like pairing cocktails and doing, you know, like a very strong martini with a very fatty course. Or, you know, I have like in the Italian dinner party, Chef's Kiss, we have caprese Collins. So it's like tomato water, lemon, a little simple syrup, and gin. But then that's really good with the pistachio pesto pasta that has a little lemon in it. You know what I mean? So it's like finding those through lines with cocktails and pairing them. And listen, guys, I like to get fancy and I love to nerd out about some food.
But like, I know you know what you're talking about. That's why I think this is I love this. Because
Thank you.
I know that anything you're going to put in a book, you're not just going to sit down and write. Like, what are you?
I'm going to try it out. I'm going to have some guinea pigs over to my house. We're going to drink it. We're going to eat it.
You just know exactly what's up, which is why I love it. Do you have a dinner party that like... do you have like a crazy dinner party story? No,
and I keep getting this question. But
it's almost like you put it on the thing for me to ask.
Oh, someone
Follow
added that.
up. Is there a memorable moment from dinner party you've thrown? Oh, I keep getting this question. Well, that's funny. It's on the fucking PDF.
That was added by a friend in her notes. No, I don't have a crazy dinner party. I just do this to mess with you. Listen, earlier before we started this, we were out here just taking in the night, and Chris got me with, you know the trend on TikTok where you say, I'm so hungry I could eat a...
I videotaped it. I filmed it.
I'm so hungry I could eat Debbie Mayhill chic.
throw dinner parties? Or have you?
I want to be like the dinner party person, but then I just like have too much like, don't spill your red wine on the couch. Like I'm not
Danny
fun.
Tanner.
I want to be fun.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm too young to understand that.
Oh, please.
Full House, I'm not too
Okay,
young.
I know. Who here likes hosting? Okay, fabulous.
Everyone's like, woo.
No, I think you'll really like this book. And another thing I do in it, which I really enjoy, is one of the things I feel like is the pitfall of hosting is that you get left with all the leftovers. Because you don't want to run out of food. So you're making so much more food just in case. But I know when I'm cooking a big meal, you're tasting as you go. So by the time you get to the meal, I'm like, I'm so over it. You know what I mean? I'm just walking around with my little lemon drop martini being like, how was it? Was it good? Yeah. I'm just full 60s housewife and not eating a thing. So then when you have all of it left in your fridge the next day, unless it's like cold pizza or Chinese food, I don't want leftovers. I'm not a fan of them. So instead, I show you how to take your leftovers for each dinner party and turn it into something you'd want, maybe if you're a little hungover the next day, or not, or feeling completely great. That'll take 2 dishes, 15 minutes, and then you're back on the couch watching Netflix.
No, and I love that about your book too. Is
Thank
that
you.
like you thought like a real person? Like
Yeah. No, it's true.
I have so many cookbooks and it's like, this is for when you want to feel light and healthy. And I'm like, I've never felt that. I want to know what the fuck to do with all of the shit in my fridge that
Yeah.
I'm like, oh God, remember when I was hammered and I thought that tasted like shit? It's inspiring.
That sentence is hilarious.
Not that your food tastes like shit,
no, thank
like
you.
mine does.
Yeah, thank you.
Just to be clear.
Thank you. Well, that's what I do.
Well,
I teach
Steve.
you how to make terrible food and make it better the next day. No, there's a lot of things in the book. Well, it's like not wasting the food, like remixing it, go green.
No waste.
No waste. But then also like with the cocktails, because there's about, I think, close to 30 cocktail recipes in this book. Also no dessert, only dessert cocktail. I don't bake. We don't do math here.
You're real as hell for that.
Yeah, we don't do that. There are other books for that. People really have mastered that. I watch Great British Bake Off. I'm not going to attempt any of it, okay? But that's another thing with the cocktails of it all is finding ways to make fun cocktails without you going out and dropping like $150 on the cores you don't want. Because I love a cocktail book. Like, I think they're always so sexy. They're aspirational. There's certain speakeasies in this city that I have their books and I love it. But I'm not going to make it because I don't want to go drop $60 on some rare liqueur that I'm going to use 3 ounces of.
Well, I don't even mind that because like
Really?
It's like you have to go to New Zealand and get 3 hairs from a goat in a
yeah.
pasture, and I'm like, what the? I'm not doing this for a drink. I'm just gonna take a shot at that point.
Right? Exactly. Well, okay. Well, 2 things. God.
No, but
2 things is one. So I try to utilize in the book lots of like juices, spices, and also I infuse a lot of liquors with tea. I feel like tea is a thing you can infuse just as much as you need, like in a mason jar or whatnot. So that way you have like this very impressive cocktail, but it took like $1.50 of tea bags to turn it into something cool and unique. And then the other thing, when you're talking about eye of newt or whatever you got to get for
goat hair.
Goat hair. Well, I know where some goats are. But
they're not from New Zealand
no,
though.
no. Ask Debbie May Hall Chic, my aunt, with the.
She's got the gator revving out back. She's ready to go.
I heard somebody needs some hairs. She's gonna be like, you talked about me at your book event in New York City?
You're like, babe, sit down. This is gonna be a hard one to
hard
explain
one.
to you.
Yeah. Do you
So
know what a
there's this trend.
TikTok is? But so in the book, that's another thing, just like the cocktail books, is I hate when you get a cookbook and then you bring it home and you're like, I can't get anything. Like, I'm going to have to go to so many specialty markets, or not everybody lives in New York. They're not going to be able to find these. So what I did is, okay, what's like the local grocery store in Delaware?
Girl, I have an apartment in Williamsburg also.
I know, but
Acme.
Acme. Okay. Where I'm from, it's Food Lion.
Love a Food Lion.
We're not getting sponsored.
No, I fully figured that.
No.
But I
this-
also love a Food Lion.
I said this the other day, and a girl at the meet and greet line in like Seattle was like, I do PR for Food Lion. I was like,
You were like, here's a new cocktail. You almost saw my cock and tail.
so, but for the recipes, I wanted to make sure that anyone who is reading the book, whether they got the book in New York or LA or in the middle of Oklahoma, they'd be able to get the ingredients. So I kept a bookmark of foodlion.com with the zip code set to my mom's hometown. And so every single time I do a recipe, I would check to make sure you could get all the ingredients at in a hometown Food Lion.
But that's...
I'm so cute. It's really nice to feel recognized.
It almost sounds funny, I bookmarked Food Lion, but once again, you are thinking like an actual person who cooks food and has a life, and I think that's why this is just even more exceptional than just
Thanks.
I already trust your cocktails and your food thing, but the fact that it's not oh my God, I've got to drive 40 minutes each way to get a leaf.
Well, that's how I grew up, because I was a vegetarian in a town with one stoplight in the middle of North Carolina. And when you are a vegetarian in 1993.
Oh my God, I was born.
Shut.
I really was.
Really?
Not a bit, truly 93.
Okay. Oh my God. Well, I was eating frozen black bean patties. It was you were in the country and people didn't understand what vegetarian was. And so I'd go over for sleepovers. And if your friend was like, oh, Mamrie's a vegetarian, they'd be like, all right, we got some chicken nuggets. They just thought not cow, right? And so I ate a lot of Subway 6-inch Veggie Delights. Oh, yeah, they saved me. But so just knowing firsthand, you can't get access to that stuff. So how can you take the things that you do have and put a spin on them, and not just do the same 8 dishes you're always going to do? Or I have a chapter in the book called The Underdogs, and that's all ingredients that I feel haven't had their popularity yet. You know what I mean? Because there's always those ingredients that chefs decide are cool that year. It'll be I got a boner for Brussels sprouts. It's on every single menu. It's oh yeah, take a butcher block, some cauliflower. That's cool.
I'll never forget all the hoodies that have kale on it.
Yale.
Kale yourself. And I'm I will kale myself. Kale, yeah. Well, how did you approach?
Listen, that's my entire brand.
Babe. You're much better than that.
Oh,
that's the
you.
Brandy Melville marketing team being
okay.
kale on some booty shorts.
I don't
although
understand
I
that
think
store.
you would have kale on booty shorts.
Yeah. I think I
get it
look
going.
listen, how do we like my okra dress?
Not my dumbass thinking.
You thought it was flowers?
Limes.
Limes? It's okra, baby, custom.
There you go.
I thought about turning it into okra-alls, overalls, but we didn't have the time. A simple shift dress it was.
You might have to come tomorrow.
Yeah.
She
Exactly.
might Project Runway this masterpiece.
I'm just covered in rare books.
Which are not props. How did you approach doing a vegetarian cookbook without using tofu or just saying impossible meat?
Right.
People are how did you do that? I'm I undid the impossible meat and put in red sauce.
Yeah, exactly. Well, here's the thing. I love faux meat. Again, from being veg from back in the day when they were no options. I love everything they've done. And I can't wait to see where they take it. I think I told the story on the pod, but I was on a panel recently with the CMO of Impossible and I was starstruck. But I negged her too, because on the panel I go, the only thing impossible is finding your hot dogs in Los Angeles. 2 days later, a box this big. Dry ice.
That's why you can't do that shit.
No,
because then
I love
they're
it.
Double down bet. You need a new fridge.
Yes, exactly. Now I need to be back in Boonville where everyone had one of those hunting coolers. And that's
exactly what I pictured.
But just full of impossible hot dogs. No, but so I love all that stuff. I think it's great. But I also feel it's already, unless you're dealing with just tofu, it's already pretty pre-seasoned. It's kind of and put it in the air fryer, etc. Or there's lots of cookbooks that already show you how to manipulate tofu or seitan, whatnot. Again, I wanted to write this book because...
What did you call that?
Seitan.
Is it not seitan?
I call it seitan. Is it seitan?
Do we have any seitan/seitan?
Do we have any
enthusiasts?
Do we have any seitan worshippers?
What do you say? Seitan?
Seitan.
Like me? Yeah, fuck you. Thank you.
There could be two wrong people in a room.
And there are. And there are.
But okay, I like having friends over to cook. I don't have vegetarian friends. So they're not trying to come over to eat things that I'm trying to like pass off as chicken or pork. You know, they don't need to get hoodwinked. They want to come over to eat something new or to see how I'm going to like, you know, do a different play on a vegetable. They would be like, oh, I would never choose this vegetable, but who knew I liked parsnips or whatnot. So I didn't want to put anything in here if you want to find some tofu carnitas or whatnot. I got great recommendations for other books. But for this one, I just wanted it to be, I feel like a lot of people have aversion to those products because they're already meat eaters. And that's not what I was like trying to achieve with this. I really wanted it to be like vegetable forward.
Well, I also think it's interesting because I've said this for a minute because I was vegan. But I think instead of trying to be like, this is like a hot dog, just call it what it is. Like, say that this is like sauteed celery with little this and that from Food Lion.
You're killing it.
And yeah. But I love that approach to it.
Yeah, and there's so many vegetables that people that are in every grocery store that people aren't eating, and that was that chapter for vegetables that like haven't been popular yet that I feel like are so good. I say they are before the kiss me, sixpence none the richer moment of She's All That. Like they're right there. You just haven't seen how gorgeous they are yet. They haven't walked down the stairs. Like celery root and fennel and parsnips and all these different things where I'm like, we kind of just brush past them or we don't even look at them.
I think people think they're intimidating.
But they're not.
But now I know they're not. But
exactly.
I would have thought like fennel. I'm like, what the fuck is fennel? But now I'm like, oh, work.
I make a fennel cocktail in there.
I know. I saw that and I was like, I'm going to have her make this one for
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
But I also love that your cookbook feels so, it's not like I'm trying to be a serious, it's like fun also.
Well,
like
thank
it's
you.
Funny. There's such an essence of Mamrie in it that
Well, God
feels
bless.
really special, and I don't mean approachable in like a bad way. I mean like
No.
approachable, like it makes me want to try everything in here because it is so fun and approachable.
Well, thank you. And I try to put some, I'm so used to like storytelling that it feels very weird to go, we all hate it when you go to look up a recipe. People always say like, I just want to know how to make deviled eggs. I don't need to know about your great uncle's terminal illness. Like
it's true.
I know. And so I try to put some stories in there, or just like how you get to those recipes. When we're talking about the not using faux meat, like I said, I do like a beautiful celery root that's kind of brined in pickled juice, and it's treated like Chick-fil-A, but I call it Sunday supper celery root as like a fuck you. Or I do like heart of palm calamari, heart of palm scallops. I always say heart of palm is the Meryl Streep of vegetable seafood. And then there's one recipe where I do a merguez sausage, which is like a North African like spiced sausage, lots of fennel, lots of coriander seeds, lots of cumin. And I learned about it. I do like a soaked walnuts and do it like sausage. And I learned about that type of sausage when I was working in the West Village at Cafe Cluny. Has anyone been there? You guys are doing well in life, because when I worked there, I was just like, one day I'll eat at places like this. They serve their omelets with field greens, not tater tots. Like, I couldn't believe it. But I was there and I was working a brunch. And we had this flatbread that was merguez sausage flatbread, and it was like super popular, and everyone loved it. And we're packed. And this was like a scene. Like I once served Mary-Kate Olsen French fries and cigarettes.
Wait.
Yeah, it's
no, like I'm starstruck.
I know. It was fabulous. Julianne Moore, nicest celebrity of all time. She was like having an interview there, and they only had coffee. And so like, the interviewer, the journalist, I think they call them,
do we still call them that?
I think so. Like paid, and then Julianne Moore went up to the hostess and gave another 100 and was like, I just want to make sure she's taken care of.
No,
Anyway.
That's what it should be.
That's what it should be. But so It was craziness, gangbusters, brunch, so busy, and we run out of the merguez sausage, and I just rang in like 6 for my table of these like beautiful men, and outrun, but it didn't say we were out of it, 86 in the computer, and outruns our expediter, and he just starts screaming, "No more gays, no more gays!" But with his Iranian accent, he was just chanting "No more gays" in a crowded West Village brunch spot. And you could hear a pin drop, and I just look at my table of 6, and their jaw is dropped. These beautiful gay men, and I walk up, and I'm just like, "Oh, I'm so sorry," and they didn't even care about the hate crime. They were like, "You're out of the flatbread?" And for some reason, I've been like, okay, I gotta know what merguez sausage tastes like. So I created like a walnut version in this book.
The month of June hates to see him coming.
Hates to see him coming. God bless.
On a little bit of a different pivot.
Okay.
Your podcast, this might get weird.
Yes.
Yes. You have granny rants.
I do.
I thought it'd be fun to do grocery rants.
Love it.
Because food. That's when you can woo all. Thank you. Jesus Christ, guys.
Okay, so Granny Rants is basically where Grace and I just complain about things but we give it a cute theme song. We're like, let's just be negative as hell for 10 minutes. But we're like, Granny Rants. Well, I've complained many times on that podcast that I feel like if you check out your own groceries, you should get a 10% discount off your final bill, right? She works for grocery checkout.
That's Food Lion PR.
Oh my God.
She's fleeing.
She said he went full spread eagle.
I did. Thank you.
You did. I think if you check out your own groceries, you should be given a discount because they are taking away jobs and they are saving money. So we should be getting a little bit more in our pocket. That is my first grocery rant.
Well, have you seen that grocery stores are now like anti-self-checkout?
No.
Because they're like, people are stealing enough. And we're like, well, fucking yeah, we are.
Yeah.
You have me working.
Yeah.
As I'm getting my food.
I've never not stolen from a place of employment.
Oh my God, I always do one. I always time it right with someone else's beep. So I hear them on a...
Chris!
It's genius. Thank you. Thank you.
No, I work...
You hear someone, you know that person you're
yeah.
next to. It's beep, beep, beep.
So then you have your
so
like
then
razors.
I'm like, okay, here's the next one. Yep, right in. Every time.
First of all, incredible.
Second of all, lock me up.
There we go. I worked at a grocery store for like 6 months in high school, and it was D&J Galaxy Grocery in Boonville, North Carolina, and there were no scanners. I had to type in everything. Like if someone had 4 lemons, you have to like put it in times 4. You had to do all that. But I remember the thing that killed me is I worked there for a little bit, and I saw my friend, she worked at a register, and I saw her like pull a bag of chips out of her little like drawer and eat it and like look really sneaky. And I was like, oh, okay. So then I just started getting stuff from the grocery store and eating it all day. And like, I did this for like 2 months. And then they were like, she was like, you're buying a lot of food. I go, you bought? We weren't all stealing snacks? What about that sneaky little look you gave me? She was like, because I was eating at work. I was like, I misinterpreted that. That grocery store was so old school. You're like, how old school was it? It was so old school that my junior year, 2 seniors that worked there just went in at night, chained up the safe, and drove it out with a truck. And thought they'd get away with it. Yeah, our quarterback went to jail. Ryan served for 2 years. We did not make state that year.
Damn, I wish
We
I
were
found...
at state penitentiary.
I wish I found his name on your Facebook friends. I'm so hungry I could eat the quarterback who went to jail.
Do we have some this or that?
We have some this or that.
Okay, we wanted to do like a little rapid fire fun this or that moment, and then we're going to turn it over to you guys for Q&A if you have any questions. Also, I told them, I was like, they don't have to be cookbook questions. If you have one, great. But I've seen a couple people be like, what's your favorite spice? When you want to be like, you want to ask something else.
What is your favorite spice?
You know what? I'm going to say cardamom.
You're crazy.
Crazy.
Oh my God. You're insane.
I know.
Well, first up on the this or that, obviously, New York or LA.
Oh, what? I said food related. For food?
You said this or that, honey.
Okay.
You never said food related. Well, New York going out or LA going out?
People don't go out in LA.
They do, but they like get to be seen.
Yeah, to be seen. And
like,
New York, you're going out to let off steam.
You're like going out to like
to survive. Yeah, to get out of your
Because
apartment.
it's 9 p.m. and you're hungry.
Right, exactly. I don't know the last time I left the house at 9 p.m. in LA. No, special places in my heart for both. Listen, I love Los Angeles. I don't hike, which I feel like is a big thing there.
No, you wrote a cookbook. We know.
Yeah, I know. But New York was great because I was here all of my 20s. I was doing UCB shows every night. I was bartending. I was working on 19th and Park, where Union Square Cafe is, and it was City Crab Seafood and Company. And I was a bartender there with a crab tie on. So, I mean, New York, I love. I could live here if I was rich.
Well, yes. I think we all could. We all have the Pinterest board with the apartment.
Here's a tip. Get rich.
Not to tie it back to the book, is there anything from your New York days that you incorporated into here?
From cooking? No, because I barely cooked in New York because
You barely had a kitchen.
I know. I was working at restaurants. So it was like you were just eating at the restaurant constantly. And you know when you have your like off menu items that the kitchen hates you. You're basically inventing your own dishes, and they like hate to see it coming. But no, I never really cooked here, which is why when I moved to LA, it became this like fun experiment because I was like, oh my God, a grocery store where there's not a cat on the lemons.
Or a 20-minute line to check out.
Right, exactly. Or I'm not carrying like 80 pounds from Whole Foods back. You know, this was back before they had Whole Foods in Brooklyn. You know, you were getting them at Union Square and just Quasimodoing back to Sunset Park. I have a this or that for you because someone gave it to me in Portland, and I want you to answer.
For me?
For you.
From Portland?
No, I'm just saying.
Sure,
someone gave it to me, and I want to pass it on. It's like it's like the ring. You have to answer it now.
Special, okay.
Kill, fuck, or marry.
Okay, love.
Mashed potatoes, French fries, baked potato.
Suddenly, I'm scared to answer.
Controversial, I know.
Does the baked potato do I have like a toppings bar with it? Or
That's
is it just
exactly what I asked. And yes.
I'm sorry, if you're getting a fucking baked potato, there better be toppings.
No, we're not.
I'm not Irish and in like the famine. I'm not like potato! I'm like, let's put some fucking sour cream chives and caviar on this bitch and let's have a party.
Oh. So what?
What, do I have toppings?
Yes.
Okay, what was the first one?
Mashed potatoes, French fries, baked potato.
French fries are like a Mary because those are constant. That's like a forever kind of girl.
Nice.
Yeah, you have French fries, you can get them anywhere too. Like mashed potatoes, I think we can go without because some people will fuck those up, but there's also a box for them. Also, a baked potato with all the toppings you've basically made a yogurt bowl with sour cream. It's amazing. You basically made mashed potatoes.
You made mashed potatoes.
Exactly. Fuck the mashed potatoes.
That was my loophole. I said marry French fries.
We're the same.
Kill mashed potatoes. No. And then I said, fuck a baked potato.
Yes.
Because you can turn it into a mashed potatoes.
Yep.
Also, just the look of a baked potato looks kind of fuckable.
No. A baked potato is very verse. There's a lot of options. You can do so much. You can cream it. You can really take your time with it. You can keep it moist. Like, you can really do a lot. Mashed potatoes, it's like, yeah.
Yeah. It's there. Should we open it up to some Q&As?
What's like your death row meal? Like if you had one last meal to pick.
You ate with that girl.
You did.
you.
Death row meal. Oh. Oh. Oh God, this is tough.
Would you eat meat on your
That's what I'm questioning. Because like I wouldn't have to stick around for a stomach ache or the guilt.
Even if you do, you're gonna feel something worse.
Yeah, I'll be like, please kill me. I just
Yeah,
ate a
literally.
30-ounce steak.
You're like, turn up the voltage, please.
No, favorite. Okay, death row meal. Oh my God. Ooh.
I'll give you time to think. Would
Okay.
you do like a meal or would you do like courses?
Oh.
Like, because I always do the caveat of like, well, for breakfast I would have.
Oh, so you're
you
like
know,
on a full day, like you're putting a
This
dog
is my
down.
last day.
Okay.
Yeah. I am the dog being put down. Correct.
I don't think they let you do that.
No, they wouldn't. But I'm like, I paid enough taxes. I think I can. Thank
Okay.
you. I hear Food Lion has it.
Last meal. I mean, this is so boring, but I really love Italian food. So I'd probably go all out on like, it wouldn't be decadent stuff because again, like I don't need caviar and stuff. I don't even like caviar. I do have a beautiful lentil caviar recipe though in my
That's what I
goddess
was referring
chapter.
to.
There we go. I think they put caviar in too much stuff, but I think I would be
agree.
like wildly gluttonous in the Italian space with good martinis. Will they fly you somewhere for your last meal? Either that or just Benihana.
P.F. Chang's.
I say, let's have a little fun. This is my last meal. You know what? I will take the shrimp. I normally give them the chip.
That's the Benihana where you're not mad about being set on fire. Okay,
Whoops.
word.
I was wondering if there's any recipe in the book or while you were making the book that didn't quite make it that you're still thinking about, that you're like having maybe sad, like long, full thoughts over.
Oh, you just want me depressed. There was a chapter, okay, I really do love Indian spices and whatnot, so I tried to do a chapter that was like my play on that. Like, for example, I love pakora, but I wish it was like chunks of vegetable, so I played with like pumpkin pakora and some other things like very thinly sliced okra and okra fries. And I still think about those and I make them, but at the end of the day, I was like, I'm never going to make Indian food as good as any Indian place I can order from and have it there in 30 minutes. And so I was like, you know what? Back off a little bit. And don't attempt to do something that you'll never do as good as the people who've been mastering it for hundreds of years, thousands, you know.
Damn, I kind of want these okra fries.
I know, they're good though. They're good as hell though. They're good as hell though.
If you were Jesus Christ,
Oh God.
If,
That's Jesus
is she
reporting.
not?
what would be your body and blood?
Oh, I heard this too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm straight up writing that down to ask strangers.
Isn't that great?
Fuck.
What would be your body? What would be your blood?
Babe, that question was for
I know,
you.
I know.
I'm writing.
Okay, so you're saying if I was Jesus Christ, I wouldn't be like, here's a wafer, here's some wine. Oh.
I will attend your church this Sunday.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
I
consider
said,
me
peace
horned.
be with you. And I was like, and also some Tums. Oh my God, what would be, I would say a mozzarella stick. And either, I'm sorry, I'm a gin gimlet girly, or I would do like a really dry Nebbiolo red wine. I'm not getting that fucking Sutter home they serve at the local Episcopalian. Okay? I'm getting some good. But no, I'd say a gin gimlet, less sweet, super dry, super cold up, and a mozzarella stick.
I'm not even kidding. I'm writing this.
Yeah.
I look like I'm
Wait for his
texting.
next TikTok. I want to know what your body and blood would be.
Fuck. Shit. I'm a little. I've had too much blood.
Yeah, I've rationed.
I know. I've seen you be really. You've done a book tour too.
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa. Tomorrow I will be avoiding. My blood would be. Shit. I'm not good on the spot like this. Like body.
An edible.
Girl, please.
You're a big
You're
bolognese
so
boy.
right. I'm like, no, yeah, inedible. No, I would like some potato, like some
Okay.
sort of like hash brown. A hash brown patty from McDonald's, let's just be honest.
That's good, and you can like serve that.
and then like honestly, this isn't like my life or death. Dr. Pepper.
Oh my God.
Thank you.
Should we have these parties when they get the new Pope going? Sorry, I'm not religious. I have no idea how blasphemous that was. We'll be like, the Pope is a white smoke. Let's fucking do some hash browns. I'm sorry to anyone
Actually,
I offended.
my blood would be marinara sauce. I
Yeah.
drink that.
Oh, wow.
Are you kidding?
You're
It's the
doing
best kind of tomato soup you can buy. Why are you buying the Campbell's shit in a can that tastes like metal? Get
No
the
one is.
marinara.
They're making-
Put it. What?
No one is. They're making recipes. These are a bunch of cooks.
I was setting you up.
Okay.
Right.
So I know you've done a lot of traveling. Was there any meals that you've had out of the country that kind of inspired any of these or any of your like cooking?
Well, I took a trip to, sorry guys, I took a trip to Bali when I was 25. Let me just tell you, I was bartending and I saved cash in a literal Folgers can.
That's also before it was cool.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I do things when they're not cool yet.
But that's
I
like
get
with
it.
the whole chapter about
Thank
the
you.
foods
Thank
that
you.
haven't had their love yet. You're
Thank
a trendsetter.
you. I was like living off the L and going to Bali in 2007. Crushing it. But so I went there and I just ate so much peanut sauce. I think it was the first time I truly had peanut sauce that wasn't like bad, like Southern restaurant Thai food that's like super thick. I had like delicious peanut sauce and I became obsessed with it. And so in the book, I do this shaved snap pea salad that's like hot, quickly tossed in like a lemongrass vinaigrette and then piled on top of peanut sauce with some pickled Fresno chilies. But then I also do, this is like a fun, more old school, I do ants on a log salad. So it's like celery and peanut sauce and pickled raisins, and it's very good. So I would say of the traveling, that's the thing where I'm just like, my go-to is the peanut sauce in Bali, and I ate a lot of it. I was there like a month. It was not okay.
What is your like worst bartender horror story?
Oh, okay.
Because I recently became a bartender.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. How's it been for you?
I'm terrified.
Really?
There's so many recipes.
There are a lot of recipes, but
learn.
always remember you are the gatekeeper between them and fun.
And also, when have you ever sat at a bar and thought, they better be making this correctly?
Me, every single time I've sat down.
All right, well, not what I was trying to fucking communicate. But if you're a degenerate, when have you ever sat at the bar and thought, are they making that correctly?
Honestly, I'd rather have someone look it up in front of me than just like wing it. I have lots of bartender horror stories, but I'd say the worst one is, and I think I might have told this story before, but I was working at Seafood, City Crab Seafood Company, and it was a really busy night because it was the NYU graduation, and we were slammed, and I was working bartending but also doing like the private room, because they opened up any table they could. They were quite greedy. They're no longer there. But so I had a table of 8, and I was like, fuck, like I'm making drinks for 200 people in this restaurant on this floor and also taking orders, and they were like, we will take 7 sidecars like up rimmed in sugar. And I was like, you got it, no problem. 7 Hennessy sidecars rimmed with sugar. And I was like, so dad speaks for everyone. Okay, I'm already scared of dad. And I run back and I'm making the drinks and I ask my fellow bartender, I'm like, oh, hand me the sugar. And he's like, why is it in the fridge? And he hands me the sugar and I rim it and I bring it to the table and it was baking soda that was kept in a deli to keep the fridge
Smelling right.
that had been there and literally they started foaming at the mouth a little bit. I had to call poison control in front of them to let them know that it wasn't going to hurt them, and my boss would not switch me out and let someone else take over the table. So I had to wait on the table for the rest of the night, and they knew they were getting the meal for free. So don't taste the sugar. Do a little dab of the sugar. Yeah, so I'd say that's a top 4. Thank you so much.